Hey, this is Ryan from another goddamn horror podcast coming to you from Portland,
And
Oregon.
Graham.
And Graham, what's up, Graham? Jonas, how's it
I'm here
going?
too. I'm here
You're,
too.
you're here too. We just wanted to give you a little information that we have cool stuff that isn't just our amazing podcast.
We have
We
so
uh,
much more cool stuff.
we have so much more cool stuff. We have a Patreon. Have you guys
The
checked out the
Army of the
Patreon?
Goddamn.
Army of the
Dude,
Goddamn. Do you want to
dude,
be
we
a part?
fucking we sold out, man. We have the Patreon.
We have a Patreon. We're apparently just capitalists at our heart. And so I want you to go over to Patreon, check it out. It's AGHP, as in another goddamn horror podcast, AGHP 666, number of the beast at Patreon. So yeah, AGHP 666, number of the beast at Patreon.
We also have the Gore Store over at teespring.com with featured products such as the Tri-Skull Destroyer sweatshirt, some classic AGHP logos, some sweatpants, and a pillow.
Can you wear those sweatpants on the subway in New York? Is that cool? Is that
It is now legal to wear these sweatpants in New York subways.
I need to have one of my friends that can fill out the sweatpants better, wear the sweatpants, and do them and do them proud because I wouldn't be able
Sweatpants
to.
and nunchucks are now allowed in New York.
Listen,
Sweet.
you have to have a nunchuck license in New York to carry nunchucks, and I'm really pissed off that I don't have a nunchuck license. I knew that you had to have one, and now I don't have that, and you've reminded me, and it angers me that I do not have one of those things. I will tell you what I do have though. I have the link to our link tree, which is
Really?
where all of our shit is at. Like, so if you didn't get those other two, you can go to linktr. So that's linktr.ee/AGHP666. And you can find all of our stuff, all of our old episodes. You can find our Patreon link. You can find our Teespring link. You can find all sorts of cool shit. And that one, again, Linktree does the weird ones. linktr.ee/AGHP666.
And we appreciate everybody for checking us out. Get ready for the episode. Start some fires and break some glass, will you?
From the darkest corners of the podcast dungeon, you have come across another goddamn horror podcast with Graham Fay, Jonas Barnes, and Ryan Danby.
Welcome, everybody, to yet another goddamn horror podcast. Do you like that, Graham? I sang it a little
Yeah,
bit. I put a
I
little,
like it.
I put a little,
It's
I put a little English on that. You know what I'm saying?
it's
Like,
it's because that new intro is sick.
you got a new intro. It's sick. And like I since I produced the show, I don't know if everybody listens to it knows that, but like I put it all together, and I've heard the old intro so much it's still like really weird to me to like start with like the new intro, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty stoked about it. It's just Graham and I today. Jonas is an airplane somewhere. He said he was over North Dakota the last time he talked to us. We can't, like, just for anybody the little behind the scenes, that we can't go like 3 hours without messaging each other some shit on this podcast. So but he messaged us from space above North Dakota, and he wasn't able to make the show, which is good because we kind of can't, we don't really like that guy much. Anyway,
I called it North Dork Coda
North Dakota
because
yeah.
I'm in a chat with two stand-up comics.
Yeah, you're like, I'm gonna be really funny. Anyways, I'm gonna do the weather really quick. Portland, Oregon, still hot. Still like I don't know, I guess these are just hot summers now. I don't know, it's like 90 every day, and it's like I don't know, like, people complain that it rains here all the time. I would fucking beg for some rain. Of course, like houseless people are like, dude, shut the fuck up. But yeah, it's the way it is. Graham, how's Flatbush?
It's fine. It was yeah, it was fine. I went up to the Nest today
Yeah,
just
how
to
was it?
stop by. It was all right.
The Nest is where, if anybody doesn't know, is where Graham works. It is a cool little venue off of Flatbush Avenue in Flatbush, Brooklyn, where we had our mediocre attempt at a horror festival last year.
Yeah, it was great.
But yeah, it was great. It was fun. Yeah, I mean, it was what it
I
was.
had fun seeing you.
I had fun seeing you too. But that being said, we need to redo that again someday. But we are going to. But anyways, Graham, we want to welcome my favorite part about the intro of the show is just watching Graham squirm because we have somebody sitting in the seat. So yeah.
It makes me insane. Yeah. Well, today I'm super excited. We have Jess Uhler, star of one of my favorite horror comedies, Massacre Academy. Jess, Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me on. Thank you, both of you, and Jonas in space. Thank you.
Jonas is in space. I hope he's happy wherever he is. What do you think? What do we all think that Jonas is thinking right now?
Probably a crying baby.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's probably like, yeah.
Somebody might be him.
You know what's crazy is I actually hung out with Jonas this last week. We did a comedy show in Yakima, Washington, together.
That's right.
His hometown, and I drove out from Portland to Yakima, which is 3 hours or so, and we actually hung out. Y'all should have been there, but you weren't. So So
anyway. Yeah. So Jess, you were. I got to see you. I discovered you in Massacre Academy. And you blew me away. The movie's incredible. Without spoiling anything, because it's not even really out yet, can you tell us a little bit about it?
So Massacre Academy starts a couple years after some traumatic events in Orrstown, Pennsylvania. My character, Chris, her parents were murdered by Carney, which is the clown killer of Orrstown. So what's really awesome and what really drew me to the character is it's like you never see the after effects of a traumatic event in a horror movie, and you see people picking up the pieces. And this is Chris picking up the pieces and trying to move on, and she just mentally and emotionally can't. And her sister Maggie is now attending college, and there's so much tension, but then these events start happening again and people start dying, and they're like, is Carney back? I thought Carney was dead. He drowned. He's at the bottom of the lake. So it's this mystery, it's comedy, it's horror, but at the center of it, it's healing. It's how do you move on from that? And I just thought the character there was so much depth to it. Which growing up watching a lot of the slashers, I'm like, well, there's more to this than what I watched when I was younger. So it was great.
That's oh, go ahead. Were you going to say something? Right?
No.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. Well, so you were, you kind of blew me away. So I went in ready for kills and stuff, sort of like an 80s throwback almost. And the kills and everything, it looks awesome, but it was the characters that actually like drew me in and got me like full on. And there's a scene where you have an argument with Mags, with Sierra Mitchell, I believe, who is also on our show. But that blew me away, and that whole scene, and then it leads into a wonderful other scene. But yeah. So how long have you been acting? Like, was this your first big? I'm sorry, I'm all over the place.
I guess you could say I've been acting since I was a wee kid. So I'm an only child, and my mom always like was recording me, and I was doing like impressions. I loved watching movies even as a kid. I mean, I guess some movies I shouldn't have. Like, I've mentioned this story many times, but my dad is the one that introduced me to horror when I was like 2 or 3. I saw Halloween 2. But yeah.
2 or 3, that's pretty.
Yeah. My mom was freaking out, but I'm just sitting there like, no, this is cool. It was
right.
fine. Yeah.
Is Halloween 2? Wait, I'm getting mixed up. So is that the one with the thumb in the eye of the paramedic? No, that might be 4 or 5. Anyway, sorry. Anyways, go ahead.
What I remember most is he's chasing Michael is chasing Laurie through the basement
Mm.
of the hospital, and that was the most like tense scene. But yeah, I apparently was unfazed
Sure.
as a toddler, so gone down this path.
Right.
But yeah, then I got into plays and musicals in middle school and high school. I actually didn't do film until college. And I was just like an extra because we had like Pittsburgh filmmakers out here and all like indie student films. So I started getting involved. And then it was like 2018, 19. I got more and more with the indie scene and I met a lot of people and just from there. So I've been acting consistently probably for 4 years now.
Awesome.
That's all. Yeah, and so the Pittsburgh scene seems pretty vibrant as far as indie horror. I know that's where Mark Cantu is based out of, and you're working on, or you just finished another movie with him, right?
Yeah, so we just wrapped Wolf Hollow. So it's about werewolves. We have some of the gang back from Massacre, and then we have a lot of new people. Not new, but like new people for us to work with, which was awesome. Lynn Lowry was in it. Felissa was back in it. Hannah Fairman was in it. But it was okay. So you really liked my character in this. I am a bitch. I am a see you next Tuesday. And my goal was to be the most hated character. And every time someone was like, I just wanted to punch you in the face. I'm like, thank you so much.
Yeah, that's fucking great.
That's got to be a lot of fun to like really like just like tap in that side of you and just like let that loose. You know what I mean? Like we just don't get to do that as people. You know what I mean? Like,
ones are fun. Right. Yeah.
Like I was saying earlier, the characters in Massacre Academy, and I'm going to assume Wolf Hollow too, are really great. There's a few in Massacre Academy, like Debbie and Riot Ronnie are a couple of my favorites. And Dr. Brady.
Stephanie,
yeah, Stephanie, she's incredible. And just the characters are really well written, and that's what I think kind of set Massacre Academy. I watch a lot of indie horror, and this jumped to like it was a level above everything that I thought I was expecting it to be, and it was because of the characters.
Yeah. Mark has, and with Wolf Hollow too. Like there's this theme in Wolf Hollow, and there are some really, really intense, like intimate scenes. Like you trust me, you're gonna get your gore with this one and your kills. But it's even when I'm supposed to be sitting there, bitch face, and I'm trying not to cry, it's because of these intense emotional scenes that Mark writes and these characters. And it's great. And I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, me neither.
And I love a good werewolf movie. You know, it's
so
like
much.
It's just like they're few and far between. You know what I mean? We don't get inundated with them. I mean, like there are zombie movies galore. You know what I mean? And this is not. I love zombie movies. I love vampire movies. We get like zero. Like, and I'm from werewolf like
County.
Stop. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like American Werewolf in London is really like my base level movie. It's like it's a little campy, a little funny, it's super gory. It's like, that's like it's a monster movie. I love, I think werewolves are like more like proper monsters than like a lot of like other horror, you know what I mean? And I don't know. I just kind of get into this thing where we don't, which I'm good with, because I would rather have them like less be good than like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm quality over quantity on the werewolves, and so I'm really excited to see this one. It's a big part of my deal. So.
Yep, it's the year for, like creature features and cryptids. It's so interesting because like now I've seen a couple other Indiegogos for werewolf movies and. Cryptids, there's a Mothman movie. I did a proof of concept with a Jersey Devil. I did like a possible TV pilot for Bigfoot thing. Like it's just really cool to see all this stuff coming out now.
Sure.
They're awesome, but let's explore more of that side.
Oh yeah.
No, and I think cryptids. I think a great Jersey Devil movie. Like what a great The only one who ever like really dabbled in it was there was an X-File episode about the Jersey Devil, and it's but like what a great concept for like, you know what I mean, or like a proper like chupacabra movie with like a full like, you know, like Mexican cast, and like they're battling like a chupacabra in a small town or some shit like that. I'm way down with cryptid wars, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
about that. I like it.
So what's it like for you on set when you go on? Like, I'm super curious about like a Mark Cantu set.
Well, I
Like, I know you're not there the whole time, but like,
Right.
what's it like you walking in?
Me walking in, it depends on who's there. If Brian Saponis is there, I'm usually like, ugh, I'm leaving, just as a running joke. But walk in, it's warm, welcoming, crack jokes. I mean, we get down to business. I turn it on and I can, you know, get into character, but it's very, I don't feel nervous about asking questions or being like, hey, can we do this again? It's one of those open environments that you can, you know, you as a performer is great. I've been really lucky to work with directors and crew that I'm comfortable with, and I don't mind, you know, just asking for a little more time or a little bit more direction and stuff.
That's gotta be so helpful.
I need to start doing that during stand-up, like just to the crowd, just being like, hey, you know, I didn't really like the way that joke landed. Do y'all mind if I do this? Can you mind if I do this again? You know what I mean? I just need a little bit more time to get it. I'm just gonna start pulling that shit.
How long are you usually on set?
It depends. Mark works efficiently because he does a lot of pre-production. But the last day that we were on set, it was a lot of prosthetics and gore. So I was there till I got home around 3 a.m., which I was like, man, I haven't done this in a while. I'm tired, but it's cool. Like I don't mind because that's my happy place. You know, I don't mind the long nights on set when it's efficient. Now, going back to my early days, I remember long hours on set where I was just sitting around and nothing was being done. And I hate that. Hate it. But if my time is being used and like, you know, everything's running smoothly, that's cool. So it just depends. Depends on what we're filming.
I can imagine that. I was a extra on a movie not too long ago, and it was fine movie. Like I'm sure it's going to be really good. It's still filming, but I did spend a whole lot of time as an extra doing absolutely nothing where they figured stuff out, and it was just a little like, I mean, like I'll take the money to look at my phone.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I'm probably going to be doing that at home anyways. But but excuse me. But you know, like also like, you know, go ahead and like let's get it together. So I like the idea that there was a lot that Mark does a lot of pre-production, so you can just get there and just bang it out. You know what I mean? So.
I forget who I was talking to. I think it was a makeup artist, and we were discussing about like what they teach you in film school, and I'm asking about like, well, for writers, directors, or whatever, do they go over budgeting or like efficiency and pre-production? She goes, the school she went to, she's like, not really that much, and I go, okay, well, that's a failure on their part because it's so, you want to get your idea out there, you want to be creative, and you want to make your art, but you need to be successful in other aspects. So like the pre-production is so important, so you're not wasting everybody's time, and getting as much done as you can beforehand will help you be more successful. And will, like, your actors are not sitting around and getting tired, not doing anything, so they can give you a better performance.
Sure. I mean, like in restaurant speak, we call it mise en place. Like you, everything in its place. I mean, like in culinary school, like you just, you know, you chop all your shit first, you get everything, so you can actually just then focus on cooking as opposed to trying to do a million things at once. So, yeah, and that's a great thing to bring to it. So, shout out to Mark Cantu for having his mise en place in place. That's
right.
I'm sure he makes a great stock or some sort. But
go
ahead, Graham.
Oh, I was just gonna ask. So, is horror your go-to? Like, is that your happy place, or do you love all film?
I love most film. Most.
Okay.
I am not a romantic comedy type of person. I mean, I would try it. Ironically, I did just do a nice film, as my mom calls it. My mom's been begging me for years, like, please do something where you're not like covered in blood. Like, can you do something more? So I did my first 48-hour film competition in July. And we got the two genres we got were coming of age or film de femme, which is like a strong female character. And we had to use, the character we had to use was a chef, and his name was like Frankie Murray. So we came up with this idea about this young woman. We used coming of age, but it was more coming of like quarter life age, where she's at this job and it's just your office job. You can see the glazed over look on her face when she's just typing away, but she really loves baking. That she's at, actually Rick and Stephanie played my parents in it. And it was the whole, well, why aren't you happy? You're making money type of thing. And I feel like we've all kind of been there with some people. We've had this conversation where they just don't understand this non-traditional path. So I showed my mom, I was like, look, here's a montage of me baking cupcakes with my boyfriend. Look how cute it is. So that's her nice film. But other than that, horror makes me happy. Yes.
See, at the end, you should have killed the boyfriend and started baking them into shit just to like. So when people are like, "You like making money?" and you'd be like, "Yeah, no, actually, I'm just going to do this baking," and then people start eating it, and good, then it's good, and you're like, "It's made of human." You know what I mean? It's some shit like that.
It's my Sweeney Todd cupcakes.
Exactly.
But yeah, I love horror. I want to do more drama and thrillers, which my next feature I'm filming in October, November is like a mystery thriller. So I'm really excited to do that. But I want to do everything. Period pieces, superhero. I don't care. I want to do it all.
I'm a big superhero fan. I always have been. I know that you're into superheroes. What do you like superhero wise?
Batman.
The bat.
He's my favorite. Everybody.
All right, rank all the movies. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, you can't do that.
No, that's too.
How about what's the worst Batman movie?
There you go.
Worst Batman movie. Well, I refuse to see. I am petty. I refuse to watch any of the Ben Affleck Batman ones.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
Oh.
I mean, I don't. I just like. And when he got it, everybody's like, "Oh, Michael Keaton was everybody hated Michael Keaton, and when they did Heath Ledger, everybody complained about that, and so maybe Ben Affleck can do it." And I will say I didn't hate Affleck in the Snyder cut of the that was okay. You know what I mean? Just because he was fine in it. I don't know.
Do you just hate Ben Affleck?
It's not that I hate Ben Affleck. It's
Jess.
Okay, so I have this memory in my head because I used to play a lot of Tony Hawk Underground, and the American Wasteland one, they have a celebrity coming out of a limo, and they called him Ben Hoofleck, and I can't unhear that, and he's literally butt chin Ben Hoofleck to me. So I don't know.
So you just can't take it seriously.
I can't. I just can't.
That's fair.
Someday I may give it a chance, but I grew up and Michael Keaton was my Batman, and Kevin Conroy too. But the 92 Batman I've watched a million times over and over again. I don't know.
I'm just going to put this out there. Michael Keaton is just way better at everything than almost almost any other actor. So like kind of comparing Ben Affleck, who's okay, but he is a little one note. You know, and it's like, and I mean, not to complain about Ben Affleck, he's fine. I like Good Will Hunting and other shit he's in, I guess. I mean, I can't like rattle off a bunch of Ben Affleck stuff I like, but I don't have any problem with the guy. I think he's a good guy. I've watched him stick up for good shit on like Bill Maher once and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I got no problem with Ben Affleck as like as a being,
As a person.
but Michael Keaton is like a fucking treasure. Like Michael Keaton can play like serious ass shit, like movies like Birdman and this and that, and he also is like Beetlejuice, and he's also and if you've ever seen the Kenneth Branagh Much Ado About Nothing, he's also like super. Have you seen that, Jess?
No, I love Kenneth Branagh's Othello though.
Yeah.
I love that adaptation.
Yeah, check out the Much Ado About Nothing. It's super, super good. And Michael he's one of the cops in it. And it's like, it is, I mean, he's just hilarious. He's just a physical comedian. And he's also, you know,
like Clean and Sober too.
Yeah, he was in Clean and Sober. He was also a stand-up.
I think he was in Spotlight.
Yeah,
he is. Yeah.
Yep.
I like that one.
And he was a stand-up comic. You know, to start with. And so, I mean, the guy is just, and he was like a good stand-up comic.
Yeah, not like one of those like goofy 80s ones that are just caricatures.
He had good jokes. And and he's just like, so anybody wants to compare like Affleck or Matt Damon or any of these people to fucking Michael Keaton. I just have this special place in my heart for people who can do like really like a physical comedy is like such an incredibly challenging thing. Like there's just a place, like, you know, as an actor, like there's a place you have to go in your mind and like almost like a shameless spot to go to become to really get into like that character. And it's the same. I mean, really, it's the same for most performers. There's this like zone in it, but to go to physical comedy, to trust yourself to be funny in those situations, to pull off like a Beetlejuice, like I just like I couldn't do it. Like I just couldn't go out there and act like, you know what I mean? I couldn't pull that out of me. So Michael Keaton, I know you're listening.
We'd love to have you on.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on, and I'll talk to you about how much I like it.
Did you guys see my my cosplay for the Steel City Con that just happened?
No.
Did you do Bane?
No, I have.
You were with. Okay, yeah.
I have back. Well, I did Scarecrow. I have a Scarecrow cosplay.
That's so
and yeah, Miranda Chapman, who did all the effects for Massacre, she does like cosplay creation. There you are.
There.
But Miranda Chapman made the gauntlet with the retractable needle fingers for Scarecrow. But this past Steel City Con, I was like, oh, Alicia Silverstone's going to be there. Oh, I have a Batgirl costume. Oh, I had a sign that said movie canceled, looking for work.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
That was really great.
It was fantastic. I got so reactions. People were like laughing, and then people were going, "Oh, too soon, too soon."
And that's I mean, I don't like. Should we even get into that? It's such a shame.
I mean, DC is kind of just falling apart in general right now.
But it's the HBO guy, right? That's like.
Well, it's Discovery bought HBO or something, and now they like cut like a shitload of stuff. They pissed off a ton of their talent now. Like it's going to be bad news.
The Sesame Street, they like deleted all these Sesame Street episodes, and then they're firing all these people, and now I don't know.
It's pretty gross, actually. Yeah.
Like Sesame Street A should have never left.
No,
public.
It should have its own channel. It doesn't have to deal with.
It should be free to everybody, and it shouldn't be in the hands of people who pinch pennies and are. It's just not meant for those people. You know what I mean? Like it is not like a property that you just like. Anyways, I can
right. No, that was not the intention. Like the intention of it was just educating kids, and then look where we are. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
society.
Yeah,
But yeah, the
it's
whole
a-
Batgirl thing, oh my God. Part of me is like, I'm so pissed off about we're allowing other things to be released after all the shenanigans that are going on.
right.
And
Yeah.
yet you finished this movie, and instead of, I don't know, putting effort into it or fixing whatever you think is wrong, you're just going to can it for a tax break? I don't know. But the other part of me is like, oh, so there's still a chance that I could be back.
That's right. Exactly. That's perfect. Yeah, and that's right. Like, aren't they like trying to figure out what to do with the Flash movie? Well, that dude's being a fucking gross psychopath. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
Well, it was going to be released on. There was like a couple options. They either still send it to theaters, go on a press tour, but the press tour would be completely overshadowed by questions about them, and or you release to HBO Max, which is falling apart, like we just said. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that. You can't. Although they say that they can't go back and reshoot it, I don't know. I don't know.
Look, it's a confusing, anyways. And I'm of the opinion that I really like to see like the female superheroes, and I think that's like been a really great part of this whole era, is that we've gotten to see different superheroes and different looking humans, than the classic, you know what I mean? And I just think that's just so important for the world, just to see, you know what I mean? Like, and I mean, like, we don't like, like, I'm just like a white guy, you know what I mean? And I remember like showing my daughter the Donna's record, and she like looked at it, and like she looked on the back, and it was like 4 women and in the band, and she like, you just watched it like click, like I can do this. And like sadly that's how I had, like, because we get taught zero empathy or any sort of like understanding of like how that shit looks. And so like, you know what I mean? So like the idea that they're just gonna can a fucking Batgirl movie but keep like is that dude like a fucking, did he do like a sexual assault or something like that, or did he just grab a woman? Was it like
he's also like got a woman kidnapped in his house in Vermont.
There's kids missing too, or something.
Yeah, it's insane. It's really nuts.
Yeah, just stop. Like just stop. Like I don't care how much money. Like there's cancelable things, and like and I'm even good with like a lot of that shit, but that's not even like cancelable. Like why would you still go see that movie when you're like
you can't.
This dude is like a literal psychopath.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I do really love all the female comic book superheroes coming in. One of my favorite parts of Endgame was like the A-Force just sort of nod, like, and Captain Marvel. I know it got heat, but like I fucking loved it. I thought it was better than Wonder Woman.
I love Captain Marvel, and I know people. I think people's arguments were like, "Well, she's too powerful." I'm like, okay, well, Superman, like.
The Hulk. I mean, Wolverine. I mean, all of these characters are like Superman, the Hulk, Wolverine. All of these characters are so overpowered that the only way to make a good movie with them is to like either have them fight somebody of similar power or to somehow have their power decreased. I mean, which because otherwise it's just like a Superman just shows up and then just can handle anything. You know what I mean? Like so basically you have to make it so he's just normal in some regard. You know what I mean? Which is a weird thing.
It's not what you want to see either.
Right. You're like
I have that with Clark Kent, like
so Miss Marvel, and it's just like, no, she's just a badass. Like she's fuck yeah. I mean, that's okay. We can have another badass superhero. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah. Yeah, I loved Captain Marvel. I actually named my I had a cat, a big orange cat. His name was Goose.
Nice. Nice.
It
I'm a
Perfect.
Spider-Man person myself, but I'm actually now more of a Miles Morales Spider-Man guy. I grew up on Spider-Man, but like I love Miles Morales, and I actually wish they would. I've semi-pitched this to some comic book friends of mine. A Miles Morales kind of version of Batman, like a kid who grew up poor, and his parents were killed by some wealthy people, not just, and then now his thing is and he has to like build all his bat shit like with his like uncle who like
Yeah.
runs like a chop shop in the hood, you know what I mean? That's what that
Cool. But
doesn't
he
that
would
sound-
go after like the white collar crime, like tax fraud.
exactly
Yeah.
like, just like people like, who are like slumlords and like
Just
you know what I
be
mean?
him beating the shit out of people that couldn't really fight back.
It would be
Right.
so amazing.
It would be
Because
great, yeah.
because we all have to be honest, and this gets talked about a lot, but like Batman could solve like a ton of the crime in the city by just like writing a check. You know what I mean? It's like he's like I'll dress up like a bat and beat up these people instead of just like solving poverty in Gotham City. But anyways,
It's true. I will admit it. It's true.
Well, I want to bring this up because I know you're a big AEW fan. I know Ryan's going to hate this part, but yeah. So you're a big AEW fan, as am I. Who are your favorite wrestlers right now in AEW?
Oh, gosh.
Okay, how about this is easier. Who do you want to win tonight? CM Punk or Moxley?
Okay, I love Moxley, but CM Punk needs to win because MJF needs to come back, and that's how MJF becomes champion. He's the best heel in the game. Game. And we haven't had a true heel champ since Kenny, but Kenny was still so beloved. Like,
yeah, he's loved by everybody anyway. They're just like, yeah, be awful, that's great, and like MJF like elicits like visceral hatred. It's so good.
Yeah.
He's amazing at it, and yeah, I think that's actually great. Yeah, Moxley, he fucking killed it all summer.
Mm-hmm. Mox he's up there. Mox is up there for me just because he's so real. Like wrestling, spoiler, scripted, but you can feel the heart in him, especially everything he's been through. He looks great. He's doing great. I love his wife. I love his wife's podcast. I listen to her all the time. But Mox is up there. I'm a new fan of Danhausen because of how ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
He's so ridiculous.
Ryan, you would love Danhausen. You know about Danhausen, right?
I want to get him on the show just because he looks.
Me too.
He would fit in the show. So I kind of looked into him. And I'm like, yeah, he looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Is Junkyard Dog still wrestling? Or no? Okay. How about Ricky the Steamboat Dragon?
He was on last week.
He was on.
Was he?
Yep.
Nice.
I was
always a Ricky. You know what? So, I can actually blend superheroes with this. I've always been a fan of I liked Ricky the Steamboat Dragon because he wasn't like a big, huge dude. He was just like a good wrestler, and he was just kind of like he was just all about like athleticism and like and where also I feel the same way about superheroes, where I've always like everybody liked really overpowered superheroes when I was a kid, and I was always like a Spider-Man. I always loved Daredevil. Like Spider-Man would get his ass kicked, and like I have I had a Spider-Man versus Wolverine deal, and like Spider-Man gets shit kicked out of him. And I think he ends up winning the fight, but at one point like he's getting his head punched through like a gravestone. You know what I mean? It's pretty dope. But it's so I like to hear that Ricky the Steamboat Dragon is back because he was always just like kind of a little dude, and everybody was like, oh, I love Hulk, or I love blah 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 blah, and I'm like, nah, I'm all about that. I
was a Piper guy.
Yeah, I'm a Portland guy. He's from Portland. He was a Portland, Oregon guy.
I was an Attitude Era baby. So my first match I ever watched, I don't even know how I found wrestling. I was flipping channels when I was like 9, and all of a sudden there's the Dudley Boys putting somebody through a table. This is great.
Yeah.
What is this? My mom, once again, not a fan. She wound up limiting it to like one night a week. So I had to pick. At first I was cool because they had Sunday Night Heat, so I could catch up on Raw and SmackDown because it was the review show. Then they got rid of Sunday Night Heat, so I watched SmackDown because I think that The Rock was just on SmackDown at one point. But yeah, I grew up watching. The Rock was my favorite. He was just so good on the mic.
Oh yeah,
so over the top. And then like Stone Cold, and like there was just classic matches between The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H. The Rock and Triple H felt like they just went at it for years. And now Triple H is running the show.
I'm kind of psyched about that whole thing. But yeah, The Rock was unreal. When I was in college, that's when the Attitude Era was really going. And my friends and I were just the obnoxious people that walked up to everybody, strangers, and would ask them questions, and then be like, "It doesn't matter." Like right after they start, The Rock, Stone Cold, Mankind. Those were like the three that I really dug. I first started watching with my grandfather. I saw the first WrestleMania with my grandfather, and then Piper was sort of the one that I met him and sort of like ended up loving wrestling through that when I was around 9. And yeah, I've continued. I lost it like the mid 2000s, like when Edge and Randy Orton were like the big stars. I didn't really care. But then CM Punk came around and kind of like lit everything back up. And right now AEW is just, there's just some fire there that even with Triple H coming back, I don't think WWE will see, because they're too big. It's too much about money, even though AEW is definitely money. But like, I don't know, there's something there. And yeah, I love it.
Who's a better wrestler? I've never seen, mind you, I've never seen any of these people do anything. Who's the better wrestlers, John Cena or The Rock? Like actually at wrestling, not who you like, but who's a more skilled wrestler?
Physically, technically in the ring?
Yeah.
Jess, you want to go?
That's okay. So
it's not easy.
It's not easy because now I'm so like, I've grown as a wrestling fan, and I see the different, like growing up, there was only WWE. That was it. But if you sit like, because my boyfriend, I introduced him to wrestling, and I showed him AEW first, and then he saw WWE and he laughed because their style is so different. Okay. Who puts on a better show for me? It would be The Rock. It would be The Rock. Yeah.
I'm going to give the edge to Cena. The Rock is definitely more electrifying and wasn't at his peak. He beat Cena every time. But Cena continued to try to learn new moves late into his career. And I kind of have to give props to that. That's pretty cool. He was pulling out like Canadian destroyers.
Right.
With Kevin Owens. And that I was like, oh, you've never even thought about doing that until recently. And that's pretty cool that you're trying. So yeah.
I fell off probably in like 2010. So I missed the Shield. Like I would watch like catch up things. So I missed when Kevin Owens came in, Sami Zayn, the Shield. I was probably gone from 2010 till about 2018, and then I got back into WWE a little bit. I'm like, this is okay. And then AEW came out, and I go, holy shit. Because they were doing stuff that WWE refused to do for years. And it was, for me, because it is like choreographed stage fighting and it's performance, what can I watch in that suspension of disbelief? Like, and I'm like, oh, this looks real. You're doing a great job. AEW has been winning in that.
AEW looks much realer. It looks much stiffer. Yeah.
How about Stone Cold Steve Austin? Was he cool?
Was he cool or like good in the ring?
Good in the ring. He wasn't good
in the ring.
He wasn't
never really good in the ring.
He's more of just like a cool character.
Absolutely. One of the coolest. He was absolutely my favorite wrestler until Orange Cassidy came along.
Because he was that guy that was giving the boss the middle finger. Who doesn't
Yeah.
want to give your boss the middle
Yeah.
finger?
Right.
He was the perfect anti-hero at a time
Yeah.
when it needed it. Like it was pretty great.
Yeah.
I discovered during lockdown when wrestling kind of dried up. You know, they were doing shows, but they felt weird and there weren't a lot. My horror intake jumped like exponentially. It was filling the void, and I didn't realize that it was filling the void. But horror and wrestling are very, very similar in my head, especially because it's good versus evil. It's pageantry. It's giant costumes and creatures and characters and there's comedy and drama. It just covers horror covers wrestling and wrestling will cover horror. Like if I don't have the other, so when they're both on, like it's insane and I don't know what I'm doing. But
If you ever watch a Nick Gage match, those death matches, that's definitely horror.
100%, yeah.
So I'm looking at a picture of Orange Cassidy right now, and he's very different than I thought he was going to be. Like honestly, it looks like I could beat him up. Because so anyways, but no. Oh, and here's a picture of him with a thumb thing. Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
He does a lazy thumbs up. He barely talks. He just doesn't really want to be there, but he's amazing. It's so. The character, it says a lot about wrestling and wrestling fans and wrestlers at the same time. It's very bizarre and meta and amazing. But yeah, anyway.
I will say I really like Chris Statlander too. I love when she's doing the alien thing, and I love her new like intense personality. I'm really bummed that she tore her other ACL, right?
Her other ACL, yeah, she just got back from tearing her ACL and just went under and up again with an injury. That sucks. Real quick, I want to tell you this story. At an Outlaw show, it was Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander teamed up against, I can't remember who, but Orange was doing his normal, like not trying at all. Mm-hmm. And Chris Statlander was on the apron, like being like, come on. And he's kind of getting his ass kicked. So she started doing like a mind meld alien thing. And all of a sudden he turned it on and started kicking ass. And that's when I decided he was my favorite wrestler of all time. Yeah. Like I was like, this is brilliant. Like it was the coolest thing ever. So yeah, those two are amazing.
Yeah. Ryan, you should totally watch this. It's an awesome match. It's called Invisible Man versus Invisible Stan. You know what I'm talking about, Graham?
Yeah.
Bryce Remsburg is
definitely check that out.
Okay, I will totally watch it. I will totally check it out.
And then you're gonna post about it and be like, what the fuck is
this? Well, this has been a lot of fun, Jess. You should become a regular on our show. I feel like you fit right in. In fact, you know what? Let's just kick Jonas off and have Jess be our third.
Hey.
How about that?
That's good.
You just replace.
Hey, not bad for running on no sleep. I get up at 5 a.m. every day for work, so this is whatever. No filters.
That's awesome.
Appreciate it. All right, cool. Well, Sinister 6 times, 6 opinion questions. You get short answers if you want, or you can explain whatever you want. First one, Freddy or Jason?
Freddy. Mm-hmm.
All right. What's the difference between thriller and horror?
More blood.
I like it. What horror movie influenced your taste the most?
Ooh, The Exorcist, because it felt so real. And I only get scared when it's real life situations or you make me feel like it's real.
Sure. I mean, they did break her back doing that. So there's some realness to it.
If you could erase one movie from existence, what would it be?
Jesus.
It doesn't have to be horror.
Oh, man. I just had this conversation with a friend, and we were all talking about what movie made us so angry that we wanted to walk out, and I can't remember what I said. I know there's some indie shit that I've seen. Let's erase. Okay. Halle Berry is a great actress, but if we could just erase the Catwoman movie because I feel like nobody wants to make a Catwoman movie now. And Selena Kyle deserves a good story.
For sure.
Good answer. Are ghosts real?
Yes. Mhm.
All right. And last one, Midsummer or Hereditary?
Hereditary. Like I've seen bits of Midsummer. It's great, but Hereditary, Toni Collette.
Yeah, she's a treasure. I mean, she really is. She's the fact that she didn't win anything for that. I mean, it's just like it just really like. And I hate to be like I mean, in the world slights, this is probably low on the list, but like horror, like it just shows like the bias against horror and those sorts of things, because her performance in Hereditary was like I actually like it actually like bothered me. Like it bothered me. You know what I mean? Like I was like when she was like talking to him in the bed and it was just a little too real. Like a little too like it was to the point where like I almost like it was like I don't want to be like this is ugly. Like I don't want to watch it. It's just really just like I don't like. I mean, I've been watching horror movies my whole life. I don't get bothered by shit. You know what I mean? And like that movie bothered me. Yeah, I love Hereditary too. It's just so fucking
Yeah, and there's no excuse not to include horror now in these award shows, like the big ones. You can't say that it's it's this and that. There's some really smart and beautifully shot horror films.
Yep.
Like some of the scenes from that first Conjuring or Insidious, it's beautiful what James Wan has done. Yep. Performance wise, Toni Collette and any of the Jordan Peele stuff, like A24 things, you just can't not include them anymore.
Yep, I know, and I fully agree. A24, Neon, fucking Jordan Peele's a great fucking call. You know what I mean? And I
actually wouldn't put Nope in to a category that like the Academy Awards or anything.
I haven't seen it yet. That's still on my list.
Okay, I wouldn't put in that just because this isn't really. It's not a spoiler at all, but it feels more like a blockbuster than anything else he's done.
Okay.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, but for writing, both Get Out and
100%.
And Us. I mean, like think about the writing behind Us.
Right.
Like, I mean, like think about trying to tell that story, and you can say like maybe this was a little, but with like I mean, Us is a way better written movie than like the Bane Batman movie. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like there was no clunkiness to it. Like it went back and forth through time. I mean, imagine trying to like script that all out. You know what I mean? Like to have that like run a like, I mean, like it's like Pulp Fiction or something like that. Like we can really say like how do you even really write this? And anybody who like doesn't write, like sit down and try to write something and be like and try to figure out how this is going to go together and also like not feel clunky or a bunch of shit shoehorned into the thing. You know what I mean? Like, you know, because there's so much going on in his movies, and to have them have that like that silky like smooth run through is fucking incredible. And like I mean like Us is also like hilarious.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean? Like there's like great comedy in it, like good funny moments, and it's like that's I don't know. Maybe it's a little self-serving as a comedian, but I think being able to write comedy into like a movie like that is challenging. You know what I mean? Like,
one of my favorite movies of the past couple of years was Candyman. Was the Candyman that came out, because I'm watching it. I'm like, this is beautiful. This is wonderful. Like I love the performances in it. And some of the kills, I was like, that's so creative. And it to me, it was up there. It was up there. Should have won.
Absolutely. The when they told the stories with the puppets and like that whole thing and like that whole decision to do that was just like so cool looking, and like so like, and it kind of spoke to the art in the movie. And also like I just think like that Candyman movie. And I just got to quit reading and thinking and caring what people say online about stuff, because like a lot of people were complaining about it, and then I watched it and I'm like, this is just a really great fucking horror movie. Like this is just this is just a great like a great horror movie. Like I just like from like I like why what about this movie do you like? At some point I feel like saying to these people like, like what would you have said when like Friday the 13th 4 came out? You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like where were you? You know, where would you have been on that? Yeah, everybody's so critical. Like I'm like, I look at this shit, I'm like, God, we're so lucky, you know, to have access to so much of this. You know what I mean? So
like Candyman and Black Phone. I've seen Black Phone twice already. Now Black Phone it was less of a horror to me and more of like thriller suspense, but there was some seriously scary moments in there. But just like Candyman, it is based on a real fear of children being snatched or children being harmed.
Yep.
And I just think those two were the highlights of the last like 5 years for me with horror film or films.
My favorite this year, and I think in a long time, is X. Ty West X movie. I thought that it looked. I think that should win for like set design or set production or whatever. That shit looked exactly like how I wanted a Texas grindhouse modern horror to look like. I don't know. He just nailed the aesthetic perfectly.
People are complain about X online all the time too, and I'm always just like, are you kidding me? Like an old woman, spoiler alert, an old woman fed a porn star to like a crocodile, like that could, as far as I'm concerned, that could happen in every movie. You know what I mean? Like,
we saw the crocodile. We were all watching it. It was a bunch of us from Scare House, which is the haunted house I work at. We've gone and we've seen a bunch of movies this past year, and I'm like, if they don't feed someone that fucking crocodile, I did that. So the guy, like the ringleader of the porn group, he was from the Ring. He was the lead for Naomi Watts' boyfriend,
right?
And he got killed because Mark came out of the TV. Did he remind you of Matthew McConaughey? Because I just got McConaughey vibes.
A little bit, yeah. I think he was channeling a little McConaughey.
I think yeah.
I mean, McConaughey, Texas, and yeah, no, totally.
And what really set me off about X, actually, I think that added to the whole thing. I really like when movies do something extra, and the teaser at the end, the trailer basically for Pearl, which nobody had told me what it was. Like everyone was just like, just stay till post credits. I was like, all right. And the whole movie, and this is amazing. But in the back of my mind, I was like, what are they gonna do? Like I didn't, and then it ended. I was like, oh, I don't know. And then all of a sudden, the fucking trailer for like a movie that's already done. I'm like, wow, this is the best surprise ever.
Right.
I love that kind of shit. I also just saw this really cool thing. There was a virtual festival, and 2 movies dropped at the same time. One was called the Third Saturday in October, and the other was called The Third Saturday in October Part 5. And the filmmakers recommended that people watch Part 5 first. And immediately I was like, I have to watch both of these in the order that they're telling me, because I've never been told by filmmakers to watch the 5th one before the first one, and there aren't even 2, 3, and 4. So I'm already excited.
Yeah. That's fun shit. All right.
I love that kind of thing.
Recommendation time. Graham, what do you
all right. Well, let's see. I've been watching El Santo movies, the luchador, the Mexican luchador. He started in the 40s in Mexico and wrestled for like 5 decades and did 50 movies, mostly in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And I started watching a bunch of them, and I'll recommend Santos in the Treasure of Dracula. That one was pretty fucking great. It's like a Hammer film, but like luchador time traveling. It's fucking bizarre and amazing. And this guy is like, he's the biggest star in Mexico. Lucha Libre is one of the biggest things in Mexico. But he's in comic books. He's a folk hero, basically. And he fights zombies, vampire women. It's amazing. And a bunch of them are on Tubi. So you can check that out on Tubi. Music wise, I think I've done this before, but End It's Unpleasant Living EP. It's stompy, punchy hardcore from Baltimore, 6 songs in perfectly packed 8 minutes. And then Lotion just dropped a new single. It's Lotion with dots and everything. Every Last One is the name of the song. They have a full album called World Wide Web that you should check out. They're like crust synth punk. And I would describe it as music you would think what music would sound like in like 2030 if society had collapsed in the 80s. It's fucking rad.
Society kind of did collapse in the 80s, but we're just catching up with us. You know what I mean? Like it's been like the slow fall. But anyways,
Oh, that's
I
the
hear ya.
trickle down. That's the trickle down.
Oh, that's
get it.
that's what's actually trickling down.
Yes, I get it
Is
finally.
piss. Yeah, okay. For that's what you got any more?
One more. October 28th and 29th. I'm doing a Halloween weekend. The name is pending. I hate that name, but it's a weekend of punk hardcore comedy cover sets, and we will be doing a Brooklyn premiere of Massacre Academy.
Woo!
Go check it
I'm
out.
pretty excited about that. Yeah.
Okay, get to the
I'll
nest.
have more details soon.
Okay, get to the nest. Keep an eye on our social media. And head to New York, like go to New York, people, like go there, get some food, like take the subway down to it's real quick. It's an easy subway ride. You just get on it, like you go anything that's going to Coney Island, you just get off in Flatbush, and like it's just an easy. What's the station you get off that's right next to it?
Prospect Park.
Yeah, you get off at the Prospect Park. It's super easy. Do it, and then go to the Nest. They got great food upstairs. And then my recommendation is James Spader as Robert California highlights on YouTube. I have I guess I'm throwing the word treasure around a lot today, but I mean it every time I say it. This is something that I like. But Tony Collette, Michael Keaton, and you know what? James Spader is fucking amazing. And I don't think he gets the love that he deserves for how many like great and the guy has been in he started out he was amazing in Pretty in Pink and such a dick, and such a dick. And but he's also done the Secretary and Crash and all these other movies that were independent movies. Stargate, and I know he's on that show and stuff like that, but if you go watch with a little time away from The Office, without watching it through, if you go back and you watch the Robert California character, it's fucking incredible. And they were able to create absurdity that could fill the void of the absurdity left by Michael Scott, but without mimicking the same absurdity. And I kind of really respect that. And so go. That's my big go to YouTube. Type in Robert California highlights, and then watch them, and you'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. That was fucking rad. I like actually the Robert California highlights better than I like The Office. I'm also going to recommend Dots pretzels that have honey mustard powder on them, and they're really fucking tasty. And I'm not even a snacky pretzel guy, but and I'm not even a honey mustard guy, but it's real mustardy with just a little bit of sweet, because I don't really fuck with sweets too much. I'm more a rack of ribs sort of guy. But they're delicious. They're little twists and stuff like that, and they're just a good fun snack. Dots pretzels. Maybe you should sponsor us, Dots, because I fucking got your back. Maybe it's time you got mine.
If we get pretzels, we're gonna need that water.
Yeah, because these pretzels are making me thirsty. And anyways, can't not say it. I can't not say these pretzels are making me thirsty. Anyways, Jess, what do you got?
I'm a true crime junkie, so
Me too.
Yeah, I just finished a series on HBO Max. So HBO Max needs to get their shit together, because that's how I watch all my documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
It's called The Invisible Pilot. I learned about Gary Betzner, he was a crop duster in Arkansas. He was this was a fantastic pilot. like does tricks and shit. He became this crop duster from Arkansas became a huge drug smuggler in the United States. And the documentary talks about how he faked his suicide to go on the run from the government, and then he wound up being involved with the government and Venezuela and all that nonsense that went down in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. It was very cool. And the guy is just he has a line. He was like, I mean, I don't think the government should tell me what to do. So I like smoking pot and I like doing. He was literally just like, if I want to do drugs, I want to do the drugs. Fuck the government. He said fuck you so many times. But like the first episode's like talking about like, you know, his suicide and his family and what they did. And then the end of the episode, this guy starts walking up to a chair to be interviewed. I'm like, oh no. And then it was him. And then it was a good cliffhanger. I'm like, well, I guess I'm fucking hooked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A fake death is like you can't fuck with that. There was an old rapper named Tim Dog, and he faked his death, and it's just like I just hats off to then he ended up really dying later, but hats off to the fake death people. You know what I mean? Like, fucking way to go for it. You know what I mean? Like you just like what do you like? Wow,
it's
like,
such a crazy move.
It's such a crazy move. I love it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was hooked on that for I think it was like 3 or 4 episodes. I want to say.
No, I love true crime. I'm such a true crime junkie. It's like I think it's like actually like damaging my brain at this point. Like I just like I can't like you should check out. I just suggest to everybody True Crime Bullshit. It is a deep dive into Israel Keys, and who's like this like pretty prolific serial killer who like traveled the country a lot. Anyways, it's really great. They go from just like relaying his story to actually now like investigative journalism where they're like actually like trying to find bodies and like all this stuff, and that's pretty fucking cool. And so
I said in another life I would have gone to school for psychology because I really am interested in, and this I guess helps with acting too, like understanding people's motives and why they do the things they do. Is it their background? Is it in their nature? But also it would have been really cool to be like a cold case detective or like find missing people and bring them home. Like that's the other life Jess. She would have done that.
I wish you didn't have to be a cop to be a detective. I know that sounds that people think it's funny, but like, I don't know why I have to be a cop to be a detective. Like, can't you be just a detective? Like, just somebody who would be good at like solving crimes and not be a police officer. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like it's like I don't know. It feels like I don't want to be a cop, but I do want to. But I would love to solve murders.
You don't want to be a cop, but you want to help people. Exactly.
They're two different things.
Right.
Cool.
Right. I have pretzels to recommend.
Okay, cool. Do it.
Hey, so there are these pub pretzels at Aldi, and it's the seasoning on them. It is delicious. I don't know what pub, what seasoning, whatever it is, but because I work there, I'm always looking at these pretzels, and I got hooked on it. So recommend pub pretzels at Aldi.
Pub pretzels at Aldi, awesome. We don't have Aldi on the West Coast.
Oh yeah.
So, but I hear a lot about it. So I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to try to. I'll hunt down these pub. I work in grocery stores as well. You and I have a lot of common. I work in grocery stores as well, and so I would like to. I'm on a fucking pretzel bender, so it's gonna be like we're gonna go hardcore into pretzels. So I love it. All right. Well, this has been really a super lot of fun. You're an awesome guest, and I really appreciate you. Where can we find? Where can your new fans find you?
I am on Instagram at Ferris Uhler 55 and on Facebook at Jess Uhler. Don't be weird. Just don't be weird. You get a lot of weird messages.
Yeah, guys, just stop. Like stop being I get that you're like at home and like you're a fucking creep in your head and like but like lock that door when you're like talking to somebody. Like it's threatening and it's shitty and like grow the fuck up, like just stop. It's so easy not to be a dirtbag. All you just gotta do is just like not do it. Just don't do it. like just don't write creepy things, don't suggest that creepy things, like if you're gonna message somebody, just say some nice things, be upfront, don't be a fucking creep. So tired of fucking creeps.
Mhm.
Jess is
Because
like,
we,
you
we
think
will
you
find out. We will find out if you're a creep, and we will post all over social media.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
exactly. I might just hunt you down. Like you know,
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be like, will I hunt you down? Maybe not. Would it be completely off brand for me to be like,
Would
yo,
I be surprised?
would anybody be surprised if Jess hit me up and was like, great, somebody fucking, some creep fucking from who listens to your show, like sent me some creepy fucking pictures, and I'd be like, let's go. Let's just go do it. Like, just
Yeah.
all you gotta do is kill one or two, you know, and then people would be like, you know, maybe I should make better choices. You know what I mean? Maybe I should make better choices. So thank you everybody so much for tuning in. Jonas, we miss you and we love you. All that mean shit I said earlier, I didn't mean. I mean mostly. But we'll welcome you back. Everybody go check out Massacre Academy when it hits your area. Go support Jess and all her stuff. This is why we do this show, to support the people out there doing like the real work of comedy and horror and all of these things, because this is where the rubber hits the road. So thank you so much for being out there and making this happen. You know, this isn't Hollywood, this is the real wood, and we're getting it fucking done. So thank you so much. So go out there. Thank you. Hey, I want to give a shout out to, we have a Patreon. It's go type it into your computer, just look at it. That's all I ask you. Just go fucking look at it and tell me if it interests you at all. Okay. Because like I don't know if it is, but it's AGHP, as in another goddamn horror podcast, AGHP 666, as in we worship the devil. Like I literally worship a demon beast. Okay. I don't do that, but like it'd be kind of fucking cool if I did. 666 at patreon.com. And it is a fucking, like, it's like, it's just easy. Go look at it. There's like $5. Like, did you like this show? $5. You know, I'm just saying, like, I'm fine with doing this shit for free, you know. And the people that we have some people. Who are the names? What are they called? What do they call themselves? Graham?
Well, we got Jason Daniels, Kristen Pearl, Ashley Ketchum, Chris Fortune, Alan Graham, Jake Jolly, Ron Knobloch, Drew Muldowney, and Stephanie Gurley, all members of the Army of the Goddamn.
And they have a special place when we fucking run this world. So just remember that you know, another goddamn horror podcast, Uber Alice. So come back and listen to us. The stats are the same. I love it. You know what? I love you, New Zealand, and I love you, Australia. But you know what? Fucking UK. God damn, you are awesome. Like you just hold steady in second place there. Like Australia and New Zealand go back and forth. Canada moved up to third. Germany's down in there. Sweden is there, and Mexico. The fact that we're in Mexico just fucking makes me happy. Fucking love you, Mexico. But fucking UK, it's just such a good, like, fucking just makes me the happiest. People in Wales, I love it. My last name is technically Welsh. So like fucking thank you so much for listening. I appreciate all of you. Hit us up, let us know what you're watching, what you're listening to. And if you got anybody we want to talk to, let me know. I would love to do that. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and come back and join us some more. We got some great stuff coming out. Go check out our Art the Clown interview, because Terrifier 2 is about to come out. That trailer dropped. Go check that shit out. And
it looks good.
It looks good. And we interviewed Art the Clown a while back, and that guy is really, really, really cool. So yeah, go check it out. And I really beg you to start fires and break glass. Thank you all.